bro?
What up, KP?
Doing well, guys. Just driving home from work. Just want to say hello. Trying to get up to speed on the conversation.
Oh,
JP's cool to KP.
Oh boy.
listen,
Welcome to the club, JB.
thank you, KP. I lost my Jewish card. I'll take the Puna card. Good.
Nah, I think you're in a good situation, JB. Think you need to show the Jews some love, brother. For real. Show the Jews some love, family. You're in a better situation because being black is even more confusing. Niggas will say you not pro-black and then play music to say kill the ops and the ops look like you. Wait a minute. At least the Jew ain't trying to kill you.
Yo, that's so true, King. Like, it's like these people have more smoke for people on a Clubhouse app where you're only talking to maybe 60, 70 people at a fucking time, but I have no problem with these rappers promoting killing other black people over something as simple as stepping on my shoes or disrespecting me on Facebook. You said something on Instagram about my mama and I'm gonna smoke you, I'm gonna leave your dreads bloody, you know? Like, they have less of a problem with that. I mean, yeah, less of a problem with that than a motherfucker just talking his life experience and things he's experienced, having a conversation on a fucking app. It's crazy.
And that's why when JB says, you know, about my experience with Jews being different, he's right. Because I was on Bankhead and Heart of the Ghetto. There's certain things I don't like that the Jewish execs did. But guess what? I'm looking outside at the ghetto. And I'm signed to people that look black like me that are not going to present this opportunity. And the Jewish people did not play. 1 minute you're in the ghetto, next thing you're on the plane, let's discuss the business, how much you want to do. We'll pay for your lawyer. You want a black lawyer, white lawyer. What did I say? Being pro-black. What did I say? What did Dr. Umar say? You know what I said? I told the Jews, give me a black lawyer. What did the Jewish people say? Okay, we'll pay for it. What did the black lawyer say? Well, if you get a deal, the fuck you mean if? I didn't get a black lawyer for this shit. I didn't get a black lawyer for you to doubt me. And the Jewish people bringing me to New York City for me to do the deal? So then at that moment I learned, damn, I should have got a Jewish lawyer. It was 2 Jews that brought me. The other Jew that brought me named John Shapiro, that signed Nipsey Hussle, Joey Badass, Big Crit, look it up. He married to a black woman right now. Certain things I can't agree with JB. I know beautiful Jewish girls that went to school on the water. I signed a Def Jam, and they was trying to get real busy in that hotel. Trust me. They was trying to start relationships in that hotel, JB.
Yeah, in the hotel, but they're not.
Hold on,
Wait. They're not bringing you home, bro.
I just told you, I know a Jewish guy now. You can pull his name up, fam. Listen, hold on a second. We're talking multi-millionaire Jews, fam. They're married to black women, bro. I know Jewish girls who want to come to the crib. I didn't let her come to the crib because she was already talking to a Jewish dude, bro. So I respected him because he helped us get the Def Jam between me and you, Jay. So I didn't take it further than that. Very sweet girls, bro. So, you know, I think that if my daughter brought home a broke Jewish man, I probably won't want her to be with him either. Are you bringing home? Is that Jewish girl bringing home an affluent black man who's winning in life, who's making money? That would be my question, Jay. You understand what I'm saying, bro? Because, JB, I can't take away from what you know, and I never would. I would be an idiot to take away from your knowledge and what you've experienced. But I also know another side, bro. And I know some Jewish men married to black women. I just
Well, here's the other side. I know some great Jewish people, right? Incredible, successful businessmen, successful fathers, right? Part of the community that pour back into the community. But let me answer this question to the room, because I want to say good morning to Othello. Is any community above criticism? Is somebody part of that community allowed to criticize the community? That it's really baffling to me. Like I said, maybe a half an hour ago, I was having a dialogue with Pikachu, and then Father Elijah, a self-proclaimed Jew, came up and said, I want to exterminate all Palestinians. You don't speak for this Jew. I don't agree with that at all. I also said, what's the end game in Gaza, right? Doing it for 2 years, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, hoping for different results. I think they need to come up with a different plan for Gaza, because there are innocent people now. There is a term called overkill, but I'm not allowed to say that because I'm a Jew. And I know I get some rolling eyes in the audience. They're going to run to other rooms and say, Jay's a Jew hater. No, I love my community. But because I love my community, I got to call out the hypocrisy in my community. Good morning, Othello.
Good morning, JB, Sid, King, the whole room.
Hey, good morning, Othello.
How you doing, Othello? So today we're talking about the world is on fire. Bigots, racists, and reprobates welcome. We went down this rabbit hole of me being a self-hating Jew, which I don't get, but okay, you can label me what you want.
Good morning.
So, Othello, do you want to chime in the conversation, or you just want to sit with the cool kids?
Man, rarely do you see communities offering other communities like their worst, or going down the checklist of the worst of that community, especially when you look around the room. Maybe 80% of people in this room will probably never go to the quote-unquote hood or deal with black people outside of work. And so they already have a perspective on black people if they're just looking at the media or things that they hear, right? Rarely do you hear the people like Sig talk about the best of us, the billionaires, the millionaires, the well-to-do people, the business owners, the CEOs, the college graduates. So when you constantly volunteer the worst of your community and you make that your brand day in and day out, other communities, right, who don't really deal with your community, who only just hear bits and pieces, right, they will take that information and do what they will, so it would behoove you, Sig, to maybe bring some balance into your conversation. And that's all I have to say. And I know the room agrees with me.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, Othello, but again, these discussions on Clubhouse typically revolve around problems. Name one Clubhouse room where everybody was talking only about positive shit. This is typically talking about problems, whether it's race relations, whether it's political relations, whether it's religious relations. These conversations typically tend to revolve around problems and people dissecting and deep diving into these problems to find solutions. So yeah, you're not going to really hear, let's talk all positive about politics. It's usually problematic. What are the problems? Because problems usually get discussed more because they need to get fixed in order to bring more positivity, Othello. And again,
You're cool.
The black community. Yeah, I wear my Coonan badge proudly. The black community right now, compared to the Jewish community, compared to the Asian community, the Hispanic community, we're doing the worst right now. And I'm sorry, when your house is on fire, you don't give a fuck about. You're not sitting there while the house is burning and blazing talking about, oh, this was a beautiful structure. Man, you don't talk about the positive things of the house that's burning down. You're only talking and focused on getting on that fire and putting that fire out. Once that fire is out, then you can have other conversations.
And so I look at what JB just did. JB brought up a great topic about racial undertones in the Jewish community. And that was a time for us to deal with that, go deeper into that and have the conversation about that. But you took it as a time to have a racial trauma Olympics and go into the psychoanalysis of the worst of your community. So, like I said, there's got to be some balance, and don't go tit for tat with somebody on the worst of your own community.
Let me jump in here real quick. Thank you, Othello. I want to address something that was written in the chat. Usually I don't, but I have to now. So Rodney writes, Trump resort is coming to Gaza. See, that's the problem. They say things like that. Now, maybe they don't give a fuck. That statements like that are such a bad look into the Jewish community. Right? It's bizarre to me. It's bizarre to me. I think it's our responsibility as real men, real leaders, to call out the inadequacies in our community. But the one community that's so hypersensitive is the Jewish community. Listen, There's a million black spaces on this app where they bash each other and they call each other and they yell at each other, all this other bullshit. How many rooms on this app will say, hey, I'm a Jew, circumcised and all? And I'm telling you now, there's a problem in the Jewish community. Oh, I can guarantee you there's not going to be a Jew on this app that's going to talk to me after this room. But I stand on my square and I believe what I say. Let me see. Good morning to Nicole and Michael. Good morning, Nicole.
Good morning. I'll speak when you're ready. Can I speak or?
Well, I gotta tell you first, and this is gonna get me even more excommunicated, Nicole, because I'm a Jewish man in America, and you're a beautiful black woman in America. I'm not allowed to say that to black women. But go ahead, Nicole.
Thank you. So what I was saying is I've just been in and out listening, and I have avoided racial rooms on Clubhouse because they get like violent, people get emotional. And people say things in these rooms that they would say in person. What I will say is I am a proud black woman, but that doesn't make me hate any other group less. Like, it doesn't make me hate other groups because I love my people. Like, there are certain things that I say amongst the fam, black people, amongst the fam, that I'm not going to say in general spaces like this simply because it's general. And so when I come to spaces like this, I just want to be kumbaya. Let's all get together. Let's have a real conversation about what's going on. But I'm not going to join the brigade of people because sometimes, JB, when you come to spaces like this, a lot of people are not open-minded like you. They have a very, they don't really like others. And so in order for you to be cool, we got to hear you down your own people. And if you don't down your own people, then I can't be cool with you. I can't trust you. Well, you can trust me. I'm just like you. I want my group to thrive and survive. I want my group to, experience wealth and generational wealth. I want us to be able to own homes and have jobs and contribute to the fabric of American society like we've always done. That never gets highlighted. And so when I come to spaces like this, I'm going to highlight the good parts of us. That doesn't mean I'm ignoring the bad parts of us, because if you ever follow me in those other rooms, you know I fuss, and I'm known for fussing, okay, and my people. But when I come to spaces like this, I'm gonna highlight the best of us, because there's a lot of people in spaces like this who want us to throw darts at each other, because then they get to throw darts at us too without being labeled. And I don't like that either. And I don't like going in spaces and having people down their own people. I like spaces like this where I could come in and ask a general question, because I'm going to ask you, JB, about the Jews. A lot of people, and this is just my opinion. This is just my opinion as a YouTuber, because I'm in the YouTube space a lot, and a lot of people don't dislike Jews, but they do feel like white people get criticized. Mexicans get criticized, Puerto Ricans get criticized, black people get criticized, everybody gets criticized, but it seems like the Jews, if you say something about them, you can shut down. Life is over for you. And a lot of people feel like it's sort of like this is an equal opportunity, everybody gets offended in America. But if you say something to Jews, it's like you can shut down. And so a lot of people are kind of, I don't want to say Jew fatigue, because I really don't understand that definition, but I feel like some people, and this is not my sentiment, I'm just telling you what the YouTube rhetoric is that why are they the only groups that they are extra sensitive? Like, for example, I'm going to give you a prime example, then I'm going to go back over here. Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro. I watch both their channels. Ben Shapiro can talk like a white racist a lot of times. And I'm just like, when he's talking about Christianity, when he's talking about family, I'm with him. Then when he starts criticizing the black community, and he starts sounding like a white racist. And I'm not saying that he can't criticize us or have points that he's making that are absolutely true, but it comes from this posture like, yeah, but if you say something against Jews, I'm gonna shut you down. And so when Candace made an observation, I don't agree with her 100% of the time, let me be clear, but when she said, why can't they be criticized? She started going down the list of things that she brought receipts and invoices. Like, this is what the Jews did, da 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 da. And so when the conflict over there, she makes some comments about the conflict over there. Ben Shapiro went off, and we already know what happened. He let her go from Daily Wire and Prager. You cut her loose. I mean, it was just a whole fallout from that. So people see stuff like that. Yeah, good.
I thank you for your share, Nicole. Hang out for a while. Let me say this. There hasn't been a more pro-Jew Israel person on this app than me. I've held thousands of rooms supporting. I'm a Zionist. I support Israel. I don't agree with everything Israel's doing. I have that right to disagree. I have a right to say, hey, you know what? So I was asked a question yesterday, Nicole. What community do I feel has the biggest racist undertones in it? I said the Jewish community, because that's been my lived experience, right? I've seen it, I've heard it, I've lived it. So, but the hypersensitivity to point that out because I'm a Jew. By the way, I'm going to lose my Jew card today, Nicole, because I don't agree with everything. See, I'm not one of those lambs that just follow the fucking flock around. I'm gonna call out people for what I see, what I experience. This app's an anecdotal app. It's from our lived experiences. Now, if you fuck with a Jew, I'm gonna go shoulder to shoulder with that Jew. But rest assured, when this room closes, I'm gonna be talking to the Jewish community on this app because I'm calling it out for what I see. Right? But they tend to forget the thousands of rooms I held pro-Jewish, the thousands of dollars I was able to get on this app for Jewish hostage families. They forget all that because I'm holding the mirror up to my community. Like when Sig says what Sig says or King says what he says, oh, they're cooning. But it's our responsibility as men to call out what we see wrong in our community. You want to stop the anti-Semitism? Have some accountability. And that's how I feel. Michael, good morning.
I'm just listening.
Okay, Hermes, you look flashy, and Mike, did you want to speak?
Yes, JV, you know I love you, man, and I am so proud of you. I mean, I feel your empathy. Believe me, I do. I know exactly what you're talking about. But I do have a question for you. You don't have to share if you don't want to, but I hope you do. Can you go into 2 or 3 specific reasons? You know, what exactly do you not agree with?
I don't understand the question. Agree with you as far as what?
You said your community. You said there were some things that you don't agree with, and you're speaking out, or when you do speak out, you get them.
Well,
so
I don't.
Some of those things?
I don't agree with the hypersensitivity. I don't agree with that. Like Miss Nicole said, you can't criticize the Jewish community, else you can get canceled. But rest assured, there's not going to be a Jew that's going to come up on stage, and there's plenty of them in the audience, and that's fine. I love my Jewish brothers and sisters. I do.
Here, you hear this? He's the biggest piece of shit I've ever heard. One of the biggest pieces of shit. But rest assured, if you're my brother,
I got to tell you where you're fucking up. Right?
He's the king of the Jews!
Just like racism.
He is the king of the Jews!
Get out of your ivory tower, right? Have the conversation. And start accepting people from where they're at. The Jewish community don't do that. They're very secular, and I get it. You know, never again. I heard that 1,000 times. But in order to, my biggest problem is there's no accountability. We're perfect. We're elitists. We're the greatest thing ever. We're survivors, right? We've been through so much. Yes, we have. So has the black community. You know, Jews are overlooked at. Oh, it's just slavery. We were slaves too. It's all bullshit, bro. There is a undertone in the Jewish community, in my lived experience, and especially on this app, of racism coming out of the Jewish community. They'll sit there and say, Hermes, we love Latinos, but we're not going to rent you that apartment. We're not going to break bread with you, and your son is definitely not marrying my daughter. That's just listen, this has been my lived experience. But I have no right to call out what I see is wrong in my community. But we can sit here and criticize the black community all fucking day. We can sit here and criticize the Latino community all day. But when we go down that rabbit hole, criticizing the Jewish community, I mean, there was a guy in this room earlier, I think you were here, who called for the elimination of an entire people. Came up on stage and said, I'm a Zionist, I'm a Jew. I said, okay, what do you got to say? He said, I think that, because I think the war on Gaza now is overkill. I think they have to come up with a different plan. We don't want to own the fact that we're starving these people out. Yes, Hamas is stealing aid. yes, it's a fucking guerrilla warfare. I get it. But where's the end game in this? Where's the humanity in this? See, because there's certain Jews will say whatever they want because there's no accountability, but then cry, why is there anti-Semitism? So I have a problem with all that. So, and by the way, when I say to you that there's not going to be a Jew on this app, I probably lost 200 followers in the last hour.
Oh, you don't give a fuck. He's
Jewish. Trying to
Jewish.
make up content. This is me telling you the real. See, when I come on this app, Cornelius, I speak from my real life experience, my real lived experience. I can take you to Williamsburg, Brooklyn, or Crown Heights, Brooklyn. You're going to go in certain pockets of those areas. You're going to get followed by a group of Jews just because you're not one of them. Now, I could walk through the ghetto. Nobody's following me. Nobody's going to fucking bother me. There's not going to be a squad of black or Latino men following me around going store to store. But I can't say that because I'm a Jew. I have to be a good Jew. Let me sit in the corner and not say anything. I think that's bullshit, bro. It's our job as men.
Isn't he? Harry, I think he's like the biggest psychopath I've ever heard. He's black, he's Jewish, he's a grifter. It's unbelievable.
There's a lack of leadership of men really standing up because they're afraid of being canceled. Well, I'll tell you what, Jews, take my Jew card. I don't give a fuck. I'm comfortable with myself. I'm a proud Jew. But next time the shit hits the fan, don't look for my support. Think you were going to say something?
He hasn't said one thing over the last couple of years making me believe that was Jew.
It's okay. Give it to me. Hey, yo, JB, I love you for real. Hey, yo, this is my problem with JB, right? That prison shit fucked you up, dog. It fucked you up. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm telling you right now. He'll say, if you go to the ghetto, won't be no black dudes following you. But if you go to the Jewish community, there'll be Jewish dudes following you. What community would you rather be in? The one that's safe or the one that's unsafe? I think I'd rather be in the Jewish community that's safe. Just because nobody following you don't mean the people in that neighborhood can sleep at night, JB. You got the game fucked up, bro. And I love you for real. I think prison fucked you up. I really do. But I believe sometimes when we're in those type of situations...
Don't talk about his criminal past.
Not understanding that
he was a pimp. A pimp.
Why isn't the black community safe? Because we're not following the white Jew around unless we're trying to make the sale. Hey man, you want to buy some hair wrong? What you want? You want some ice? What you want? You want some fentanyl? What you want?
Wow.
It should be somebody following you around the black neighborhood. Who is JB? He might be an informant.
He's a snitch.
I'm just keeping it real.
He's a snitch. He's a federal informant.
It's the reason why they're making fucking money. And guess what? I don't believe that if you give Nicole $1 billion, she'll let a girl on Clubhouse talk bad about her. I don't believe it. Anybody in this room, I don't believe it. You give them the hand of control, they gonna shut down the motherfucker that's talking bad about you. Good night. I'm not mad at you Jews. The Jews say, you know what? I paid the cost to be the boss. And if you talk bad about me, I'll shut it down. Now this is my question for the black community and the Latinos. Why the fuck we ain't doing that? When a motherfucker talk bad about us, why we ain't canceling them? Cause you don't own shit but a Gucci bag. That's it.
Well, it's another layer to that, King, that I will throw in here, and then I'll be quiet. It's not that we don't criticize each other, because we do, like, ad nauseum. We do. But it's like every other group. When we come in general settings, we like form like Voltron against our group. It gets defensive. Okay, we talk about my sister, we talk about brother, we know we have. My problem with the criticism of black community, and a lot of the criticisms that other groups have of the black community, I have also. So I'm not saying that they're wrong. What I'm saying is that, why is that just our representation by and large? Because why aren't black folks like you and I highlighted? In all these conversations, it's always the worst of our group that's highlighted. It's always, you know who, the original culprits. It's never, let's talk about those professional black folks. Let's talk about it's always the worst of us. That's always been my complaint, and that's why black people get defensive when we're criticized. It's not that we disagree. A lot of times we agree, but it's like, okay, it's no balance. And so when people who have criticisms or come to spaces, that they can speak freely about their prejudices and bigotry, whatever, they always highlight the worst of us. And that's where we get frustrated, because we're like, okay, is that going to come back to haunt us when we go try to get a job? Is that going to try to haunt us? Is that going to come back to haunt us when we try to buy a home in your neighborhood? Are you going to, because that's historically been the issue, and that's, we're always on the defensive. And that's why people feel like we're always crying racism, because people are always talking about the worst of us. And it's like, if we don't come to places like this and completely throw our whole entire group under the bus, then that means we're denying that we have black trash. Oh yeah, we have black trash. And the reason why I don't call them black trash is because they're too sensitive to be called black trash. Like white trash. White trash will tell you, white trash, stay in your place. You have a place in the community. You do not have the mic. You will not, black trash, all up and everywhere. Music, church, everywhere. Black trash has the mic. They do. They can't help it. They're probably dragging me in the chat right now. Because it exists. It exists, but it's just like, they're the ones that are constantly referred to and not the best of us. And that's why we're constantly crying.
I would disagree with you.
JB, let me know when I can speak there. Thank you.
Well, I got you, man. We're gonna go KP, and then we're gonna go to you. And man, not you, Sia. Chill, bro. KP.
King, I would disagree.
Watch that song, JB.
You watching the audience, can KP?
Jeez. I would disagree with you. You can pay me $1 billion, but I'm a man. I'm going to disagree with you if you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. But wrong is wrong. I don't give a damn. I cannot be bought at all. Men can't be bought. Boys can. Punks can. Men can't.
Thank you, KP. I want to go to Miss Fifi. How you doing today, man?
Hey, good morning. Good morning. I enjoy your room. This is room number 2, day number 2. I wanted to talk a little bit about when you were saying about the Jewish communities and how it's always. I just wanted to bring up a situation that happened in my in the city. I'm in the outskirts. I'm in Baltimore County, but this happened in Baltimore. 2 teens back in, I want to say 2 Jewish teens, 20. This happened. Let me get the news story. Bottom line is, it was a group of Jewish teens that was a neighborhood watch, and it was a young black boy, teenage boy, who was walking through the neighborhood of Upper Park Heights in Baltimore. He was assaulted and attacked by these 2 Orthodox Jewish teens.
My friend!
And this was all surrounding.
Good morning, Shalom. I'm recording Jay Bresca being the biggest piece of shit I've ever heard in my life.
Just be careful, because things can happen on both sides. And like I said, I don't know if you guys heard of this. Did you hear about this?
Who is Jay Bresca? What's the name of the room?
He's the pimp who used to run an escort business.
Oh, JB.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was in all the news stories. I'll post the link in the chat.
What's the name of the room?
My lived experience, I'm a Jew, and Jews are racist, and they're committing genocide, and I'm black too, and I'm a Democrat, and these fucking MAGA people, they love Trump like there's a cult god.
All the time. I just wanted to, I'll put it in the chat.
Thank you, Miss Fifi. Appreciate you. Reddy, how you doing, Reddy? Reddy Rock?
Hey, how you doing, JB? How's it going?
Going well, man. Did you want to chime in on the conversation?
Nah, I just wanted to, and I agree with everything about the black community. Everybody got it. But I wanted to ask a question to a buddy who was talking about the blacks, and he said he wanted to trade to be a Jew. Do you know there's colorism in the Jewish community worse than there is in America?
No, there isn't.
Yeah, it is.
No, there isn't. No, it is. No, it isn't.
Hey, relax, man. Relax. I ain't gonna argue with you. I just wanted to pose that question to him. And I'm gonna leave it there and continue to listen.
No, I wanted to respond to the brother. So I was joking. I was just saying to the Jewish community, I'll take JB's Jew card. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Just lightening up the mood a little bit, man. God damn, we understand Clubhouse is everything to you. We get it. You know what I'm saying?
It sounds a little weird, King. That's all. King,
I know he's gonna get a lot of blowback from the Jewish community for this conversation. So I was just having some fun, bro. You know what I'm saying?
We thought you were serious.
Celebration and all that shit everywhere. But you know what I like about Jews? They gonna get some money.
Yeah, but King,
They're not gonna make no. Hold on a second. Hold on a second.
No. Let me finish.
Hold on, go ahead, JB.
Let me just say this, man. And you know, like you say, you love me, I love you, but not everything in life for me, at least, is predicated on money. I'll make my money whether I'm a Jew or not. You know, I don't live that life that
All right. These people are horrible people.
Yeah.
The guy King 344. He's
Jews
like
gonna get some money.
one of my new least
And I like what
favorites.
JB said, but his sentiment,
That guy
his
sucks.
clubhouse passion won't pay the bills tonight. I don't know if you know that, right? Because I see a lot of communities with passion. Brothers speak so adamantly, so much so. Why is your women out there single, raising kids by themselves? Why is your community not safe? Funny how some of these white people can be some of the meekest, humblest people I meet. Hey, what's going on, King? They sound very chipper, but their community's safe. And you talk like Rambo, and your community's dangerous. If you talk like Rambo, you would think that your community would actually be safe. Listen up. So yeah, JB, I gotta get the money. And I appreciate you speaking to me passionately. While the truth is, motherfuckers in this room don't even appreciate your conversation enough to send you a cash app.
You get no argument for me.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So listen, we understand that money never cancels out God. But we also understand we have to survive. And the truth is, the Jews are thriving. They're owning the media. They're owning their shit. And they're saying, you know what? If you're going to talk down on us, we're going to shut you down. And you better tell me, black people, let's talk right now. Black people, hold on a second. White trash people, let's talk right now. You mean to tell me if y'all own all of everything, if you own the store right now, you'll let motherfuckers that you can shut down just talk about you like a dog?
You shit on Jews every day, and you're not being removed from this app.
I don't.
You're not even being removed from this app.
I can't talk over you, but JB, I don't believe that shit. Okay? I see nothing wrong with Jews looking out for other Jewish people. What's wrong with that?
King, you sound coonish though to me. I'm sorry.
You sound cool as hell. This nigga.
Everybody,
Let me tell you something.
hold on.
This is what killed me about the black community. Hold on a second, JB. This is what killed me about the black community. Hold on a second. Because this is funny. The black community will call you a coon for telling the truth, but live a lie that's putting their whole community in danger. Wait a minute. It's the black community saying, hold on a second, JB, let me cook. Hold on a second. Because the black community has said so much about white people and everybody else, but yet get their money and want to live around white people. Which way is it? I don't understand you, nigga. Hold on one second. If you don't like white people, why move around them? If you don't like them, why did you benefit their neighborhood?
Can you talk a little louder? Can you make it a little louder?
Everybody mute up. Thank you. Listen, he's entitled to his opinion, just like everybody else is entitled to theirs. So let me give a little let me do a quick reset. Healthy debates. The world is on fire. Bigots, racists, reprobates, welcome. So I started off this room. Well, let me just say hello to Stinny, Debbie, EP in the house, Mike Moon, Nima, Hector, I see you down there, Guy, Tiffany, a bunch of people with pink tickets, Regina, Big, Music, cash in your tickets. Don't be a cheap fuck. Hit my cash app in my bio. But let me just say, I started off like this.
In my cash app.
Proud Zionist, proud Jew.
He's a proud Zionist and a proud Jew.
Pro-Israel, pro-Jew. Especially after October 7th. And one of my statements this morning, and nobody come off mic, so I'm calling somebody specifically, was, I was asked yesterday what I felt was the most racist community
in my lived experience, and I said the Jewish community.
Ooh.
Right? And then, don't come off mic. Then this dude, my friend, who uses the N-word like we use the word sky, no problem. I get blowback. I'm not really a Jew. Because I call out the racism in the Jewish community. And it's really the truth.
I never accused you of not being a Jew.
I didn't say you were. It doesn't apply to let it fly.
I think you said my
Okay, you know
friend.
what? Okay, yeah, I called you specifically because you dropped the N-word like it's nothing. I think that's okay, but then don't understand the blowback when anti-Semitism comes our way. See, we don't have accountability in our fucking community. We can say what we want.
This guy's
It's
such a
okay.
psychopath piece of
Say you're
shit.
cool. It's okay, I can say that. But if you criticize the Jewish
So
community...
the most ironic thing is he thinks he's gonna become like popular on social media or
You're
something
not a Jew.
by doing this.
You've never been a Jew. Doesn't matter about the thousands of produce space that held, the thousands of dollars I raised for hostage families on this app.
Oh wow.
But you want to criticize my Judaism. Like I said, don't apply, let it fly.
What does he think Judaism is?
People come up on these stages and say the N-word, the C-word, whatever the fuck they say. But that's okay because there's no accountability. Because we're Jews. We're the chosen people. We've been slaves. We survived the Holocaust. Well, let me tell you something. Every community has some kind of oppression throughout their history. Everyone. I'm tired of playing that elitist card that the Jews have. And I'm a Jew saying it. Why are Jews untouchable? Why can't we criticize our community? How do we fix the problem? Unless we talk about the problem. Keegan, if you don't like what I'm saying, you can leave quietly. Seriously. But I'm going to go to Bunny next. And then I'm going to go to Gensing.
What you're saying is so true. I just want to give a quick observation here. You got a nigga in this room talking shit. The same shit. We're getting the same shit, just on different sides of the coin, JD, with the black community. You got a nigga in this chat trying to call me out for being detached from the black community, shitting on black people. Yet this nigga impregnated a black woman and didn't marry her.
Ooh.
I married the black woman I impregnated. She's a stay-at-home mom. You understand? 80%, 70% of black women with children don't have a fucking husband. They're single moms. And 80% of women in this country have to work to contribute to the household to make sure the bills are paid. She didn't have to do
Danny!
that. She was a stay-at-home. This black woman that I impregnated, I married her and made her a stay-at-home mom, so she didn't have to worry about paying bills and going out there and fucking with this hard ass world.
You didn't know he was Jewish and he's a Zionist too, but he's calling out his community.
Black woman he impregnated is fucking well and took
I
care of her.
thought that he was just a Zionist.
The black woman that he impregnated when he created a fucking black family.
He has raised thousands of dollars for victims of October 7th. He's a true Jewish patriot. You know the irony about this room is this is exactly what Sig does every single day. It's the same format every day. It's basically cats playing with mice. They beat up everybody. It's a show about nothing. No education. And it's just a bunch of grifters that just stir the pot. That's all this actually is.
And the town lagoon was very honest. I like black women. I think they're beautiful, they're loyal, they're loving, right? This cracker in the corner here said it out loud. And I got so much blowback from the Jewish community. Why would you say that publicly? How dare I say that I think black women are beautiful? Nobody else criticized me but the Jews.
Jay Breska stirs the pot one more time.
Hey, JB. I'm good. I love your rooms, as usual.
No, it's not real
This
life.
one is good.
This is
This
is probably the breakdown of society. Actually, this is probably the end of the times.
For the black community, as a black woman, I think they're definitely.
Isa Guatemala wants to say something. Hello, Isa. Welcome to the Jay Breska rebuttal room.
I think that there's a lack of talking about the positive.
Hello.
Or even the people who are doing positive things. We're so laser
So,
focused.
Isa, do you think that this is just another room to stir the pot?
And there's nothing
And
wrong
no
with
actual
being focused
education
on
or
it,
anything important
but
is
if you
happening
don't
here, and it's just a
also
waste of your time.
acknowledge and have a focus on the things that
Yeah,
are right, the people
basically.
that are doing right things.
Let us stir the pot one more time to try to make the soup taste good.
And I also think that sometimes we have to understand who our
I feel like you are
If
on a new
the
journey.
focus is to do things
Everything is looking up, Danny, because you can only go up from here. It's the lowest of the low. It's the pot. We got to the bottom of the pot, and there is no more soup. You can't stir a soup if there's no soup in the pot.
Right? Because they're not going to hear you. Because
I am Jewish. I am Zionist. But the Jews are the most racist people I've ever met.
What's the solution? What's an example to follow, etc., etc.
This is the juice.
It's
The
constant.
juice show. The Jay Breskin juice.
And this may happen in all
I'm going to create a new product line. It's going to be called the Jay Breskin
we don't
juice.
hear people talking about
Feeling racist today? Quench that racist thirst with more racism.
Industry, so my focus is a little nerdy. But we have people like Tarana Burke, who's
Yeah, he says they're the most racist people on the planet.
Who's an astronaut, Victor Glover, who's an astronaut.
See, this is the thing about recording him. Because tomorrow no one will remember anything that he said. He'll stir the pot again. And these are not recorded rooms. And I'm in here on an anonymous account. So, you know, you have to record these people and make them accountable because, it's a waste of time.
I hear these things, and I'm like, this brother makes sense, but I can't.
I should just go back to work and make money and ignore all of this stuff.
Because of that, I just think there needs to be a call for balance, right?
If I convert...
Some of us are doing okay, others are doing really.
That's right. If I convert to Judaism, does that mean I control the media?
They are looking for examples. They're looking for examples for greatness, or they're looking
Is there
for
fractional
examples for
Jewish reserve ownership in the media?
The black community, that's all these young people who don't have the same brains and focus that we old folks do. And when I say old folks, I mean over 40, because we have a responsibility. Over 40, you feel you don't have a responsibility, you're wrong. So these younger people are looking to.
If I convert to being black, can I join the NBA?
President's mouths is y'all fucked up, y'all fucked up, y'all fucked up. And coming out of these beautiful women's mouths is where's my money, where's my money? That's all they hear. That's their focus.
Yeah, why can't I convert to being black? If I can convert to being Jewish, and Judaism is both a religion and a culture and ethnicity, why can't I be black?
Well, let me just say this. I can't speak on the
I
black
always felt
community.
like I was black.
I can just speak on my community. And you're not going to see many...
Wait, Jay Breskin? Wait, hold on. Jay Breskin's talking about his community.
He's just not. Because we're an elitist group. We think we're better than everybody else. They don't want to talk. So I have to call it out, Bonnie, because I'm tired of that narrative, that bullshit.
Wow. He's king of the Jews. The man is king of the Jews.
But, for me, it's like I've had enough. People wonder why there's so much anti-Semitism. Well, because you have an elitist attitude.
You know, stupid is stupid.
Drop the N-word like it's nothing. I think that's okay. They don't understand the blowback we get.
Why is it not okay for white people to use the N-word?
Are you serious?
Does he know the Jewish
It's a serious question.
I'm going to answer you. As long as I can say cracker. As long as
I don't have a problem with people saying anything.
As long as I can say why.
I'd like to respond to
There
that.
you go.
I'd like to respond to that.
Well, can you let her finish? Wait. Let her finish.
Sure, let her finish listing racial slurs.
Like the ones that you like to drop.
Yeah, list a few more. Why don't you say the K word?
Why don't you go listen to the lady talk? Hold on, Othello. Let Nicole go. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying people get sensitive when we start flipping that. See, everybody likes to say the N-word ER, but then they
That's
get
called the hard R.
We start saying kike and all that, and I just sit here like, hey, come on now, you know you don't want your group to be insulted. Come on.
Also, too, you're a frail little white man that's saying it on this app. You would never go around a frail white man. You would never go around a group of black.
Are they trying to create a confrontation between Jews and black people?
Thank you.
So I was just called a kike and a frail white man to my
She didn't call
face.
you that. She said if she did in the context.
Well, she used the word. So if I say the N word, you're gonna lose your mind. But if she says the K word, you don't.
And I'm saying, my friend, I wouldn't care what you say.
Can I respond?
I'm gonna tell you this, right, man. I wouldn't care what you say because you have no power over me. If I have power of that word, nigger, whatever, I'm giving you power over me. I mean,
That's why KP's my
talk about my goldfish. You might offend me. Talk about my goldfish.
But that's why I get You're a reasonable fellow.
Now, I can tell you, other people might have a different reaction. He might get fucked up and folded up in some
I'd like to respond, if possible.
Yeah, I know you'd like to respond, but hold on.
Do I not?
It's not yet.
You've mentioned me several times and you haven't let me speak.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me say this. I never used your name. If it don't apply, let it fly.
You did use my clubhouse username to
Okay, then go down there and learn to live. See, that's the problem. That's the Jewish entitlement. He gets to come in here and use the N-word, talk what he wants, talk over the women in the room, and that's the problem. That's why
Jewish entitlement.
He kind of proving your point. I was telling them next time you get not my friend talk.
Is his mother Jewish?
Jewish community. This is what he's talking about.
Jewish?
Hold on one second.
Has he ever read the Torah? Has he ever danced with the Torah?
Like this white brother who just said K is his nigga. Like, what we doing right now? You got a problem, brother, and you need self-control. You're very ignorant and you're an entitled, spoiled brat. You need to grow up. Just a white little boy with a beard with no self-fucking control. I don't blame JB on this one. Point fucking proven. You got a problem. Sorry, JB.
on the other side of me.
Zach represents the entire Jewish community. Cast all the hate onto Zach.
Because an idiot is going to be an idiot.
Well,
There's no reason for you to react to you.
Brother, I didn't get offended that he said something to you. My thing is this: how can he get offended if he called you nigga and then get mad at Nicole making an example out of a fucking word? How does that make sense? She did not call him a name.
Make it make sense.
That was already said, and I agree with
This
that.
is the problem with people who don't have any education. Everything is political. They don't spend any time on anything intelligent, and it's the same fucking stupid politics bullshit every single day, stirring the pot.
She did not call him a name.
Exactly.
She said people get offended by it.
This is the perfect matchup, actually. Jay and Sig together. Because Sig does this every single day, too. Instead of providing education to people, they just destroy, they just rip people up and big fun of them.
Let me just say this. He proved my point over the hypersensitivity.
Yeah, Sig is intelligent, but you gotta understand, it's how people use this app that proves that they're stupid.
Zach, look, Zach's allowed to say what he wants, he's allowed to feel what he wants, just like I am.
Like, I could be intelligent, but I could be like so dumbest.
But Miss Chantel's been trying to jump in Miss Chantel bed.
Well, I just believe this app should be used like a college classroom. Otherwise, it's a total waste of time.
Man, you can use it, but we're going to judge you accordingly based on your character.
Basically, read a book.
And anyone who uses like racial insults towards another racial demographic, just know like
I'm actually planning on leaving my house today and just like letting this live stream. Yesterday, there were rooms on here that went for 20 hours straight, and I spent the whole day recording Clubhouse in multiple rooms in my house across multiple different YouTube accounts.
Thank you so much. You say something, I want to go to
And it's just amazing how people are here all day long, 7 days a week.
People call each other niggers all day and rapping and
derogatory term, and I do understand that some rappers claim that they're trying to take the word and give it another connotation, but the word will never be connected to history. So I don't think it's
assassin who killed 2 Democrats who voted against
I agree with the
Medicaid
rap
for
percent,
the
nigga.
aliens.
I agree.
Hi, Julian.
Hold on, Othello, hold on, my friend. Let me just say this.
Julian, are you gonna come to my party? That's probably not gonna happen.
You have zero emotional and mind control. You know I was going to come back to you and let you stand on your square. But what you have to say is more important than what everybody else has to say. You know you say polarizing statements that you shouldn't say, but you're the problem in the Jewish community. Because you'll come up on a stage and say those things, and now they think all Jews think it's okay. They think all Jews are bad people.
You can't say stupid on the spot.
And I'm calling that out.
Ooh.
But let me say good morning to Jordan. Jordan, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Jordan, did I lose my Jewish card today?
Did you lose it?
Yeah, did I lose my Jewish card because I'm calling that the Jewish community?
No, I do it often. Zach doesn't he's just such a smartass. There's no reason, in the Jewish community, sometimes we use Yiddish words more often. Sometimes the general public does it. We call each other's schmucks, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's just what's cultural evolution dictates what kind of language enters our vernacular and what we use. In the black community, people are entitled to use words that they want. In the Hispanic community, sometimes they call us gringos, and we don't necessarily get offended. I'm a white passing person, right? So, I mean,
white passing and entitlements.
Am I white passing? Am I white? Am I white?
You want to find balance. It's just absurd. It's
imagine being in like the Baha'i faith
it's such a ridiculous
and claiming that there's racism in the Baha'i faith.
I don't get the point in even focusing on it.
The Baha'i faith people are the biggest racists on the planet.
Like that, you're gonna get it.
Are they really that guy from Jane the Virgin?
You don't really know mine, just what we share with each other. I said a statement yesterday because you were both part of the same community. At least I was up until I opened this room. I said that I find that there's more racism in the Jewish community than any other community. What has been your experience? And beyond it.
Oh my God! What is wrong with him?
I didn't follow the conventional, if you will, Jewish trajectory, right? It's a small community. A lot of people go into the same fields. They live in the same place. They live in large metropolitan areas. I didn't take that path. So I was, from an earlier age, I was always kind of an outsider, even though I was religious when I was younger, and I'm fairly secular now. So, I was ostracized. Ostracized is a strong word, but I definitely was misunderstood.
I'm not a racist.
And so, and then early on in this app, I took plenty of abuse, and when I reacted to people, then I was called out and I was the bad guy. So this is not terribly uncommon for me. But actually,
it's my lived
experience.
experience.
Let me say this real quick. Since I opened this room, right, we've had a couple of Jewish speakers come up, and you're one of them, myself, and two others have come up. And let me tell you something. That Zach, who uses the N-word like we use the word please, is obviously, to me, it has been racist. He hates black people. But then we had another Jewish man come up and say, I think that all Palestinians should be eliminated, including the children. See? And then we wonder as a community why there's so much anti-Semitism. Because the Jewish community has carte blanche to say what the fuck they want, and there's no repercussions. And I'm not labeling or lumping all Jews into the same bubble. I'm just saying from my lived experience.
That's exactly what you're doing.
It's shit like that. See, they're really proving my point, these people. Because it's like...
They're your people, though, Jay.
So I get to call you the N-word. And it's bizarre to me.
Well, I mean, Zach is such a complete idiot. I don't even remember meeting him before. I've seen him in rooms lately, and it just... Too dumb to be walking, right? Like, this guy is, I don't know where I came up with that expression, but he is just like, I mean, it's asinine. But no, there's an entitlement, there's a class-based entitlement that has nothing to do with culture, ethnicity, genetics, race, epigenetics, whatever. Like, there's just some people are absolutely entitled and clueless. So, I think that has more to do.
Well, Jordan, let me say this. Where is it? She's a girly girl. 0. This fuels anti-Semitism. Lady, I don't know you. I don't think I've ever shared a space with you, but I love you. You get it. You get it. It fuels anti-Semitism, and then we wonder why. Why do people hate Jews? Well, because of statements like these people have been saying, not Jordan. But the father, whatever his name was, Isaiah, came up and said, I'm a Jew and I want to kill all Palestinians and their children. Now, maybe he was just role-playing, I don't know. But Zach has come on my stage many times. Zach has come on my stage many times with his little bullshit accent that he tries to do that disparages black people. And you wonder why, Zach, so many people fucking come after us. Because you think it's okay to dispute your hate, but when we get it punched back on us, it's not good. Okay, King?
No, I was going to say, man, Zach is an asshole and he's disruptive, but I think he's smart. And I also think that if he could control himself, I think it'd be a good conversation. I think sometimes we don't like white people to pull the veil back. I think that's why America doesn't like Trump. He's not well behaved. So I think if Zach could respect JB's flow of the show and not be ignorant and act like a nigga, maybe we can have a great conversation. I'm getting real with you, JB. We don't like white people to tell the truth. At least my friend got the nerve to tell the truth. Let me tell you something. You work 8 hours, you entertain yourself 8 hours, then you go to sleep. I like people that's real. America has a problem with real people. You don't see it. Comedians can't say what they want to say no more. Politicians can't say what they want to say. Nobody can really say how they feel. We have this group think mentality, and it's really destroying us, man. It's killing something inside of the American people and people in the world in general to me, bro. So I say welcome him to the state.
I want to ask you a question. So, do you believe that there are some races that you can work with and some you can't?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. Okay. We on the same page.
In Europe, it's very difficult to work with the far-right racists. Very difficult.
Well, let me say good morning to Aziz real quick, and then I'm going to go to Othello, back to Nicole.
Aziz, good morning. Can you find out what you meant by that? The far left racist?
Chantel, what did you mean by that?
I said, like, the racist white supremacists in Europe are less likely to change or change their minds or even try and understand and comprehend the opposing person. But the Americans are more open, if that makes sense.
Americans are what?
They're more open. Like, you can meet a racist American and, like, in a few years or a few months, he might change his stance. But in Europe, no. I've never seen it.
I think some people, racism comes from what they've been through. So if a bunch of white boys beat me up, I might not like white boys as much. Even though I'm wrong for judging the whole, my experience came from the few. Right? So I'm not even looking for, listen, I'm not looking for them to change their minds. You don't have to like black people tomorrow. I just want you to know you don't know me. And I don't like when one Jewish person does something like Zach, right? And now we make it a whole, Jews don't know how to respect people. No, Kanye. You should talk about the Jewish person you had a problem with. Because it was also a Jew that gave you a deal that helped you become a millionaire. I think we should start addressing the person instead of everybody, the people. Just because I have a problem with JB now, I don't like Italians, don't they?
It's not about not liking, it's like the likelihood of them changing is very low.
Yeah, but why do I want them to change? I think, listen, Quinn, let me ask you something. Do you think there's racist people that don't express how racist they are?
Yeah, but there's always telltale signs.
So are we saying that we want white racists back under the sheet? Ain't that the claim?
No, I'm just saying racism is low IQ and it's not a good character trait to have. It should be something that's addressed and shamed.
I agree. Me personally, I'm learning to like racists more as I grow. Long as they can control themselves and we can have a good conversation, I don't mind.
Yeah, and with Jewish people it's more complex because being a Jew isn't just a religion, it's also a race. So that I think they feel more of it than most people.
Well, please, I feel that with racists, it's not that I like them, and I believe in freedom of speech, I do. But can we work together? Like, forget all that, forget I'm a black woman. Can we make some money together? Forget all that. I don't care about your music, you don't care about me. Can we make some money together? Outside, oh, you just dislike me. You don't want to do business, you don't do anything. That's the problem. When you don't want to hire somebody because of the color of their skin, not because of their ability, okay, that's the problem. But if you say, okay, I don't care, I don't particularly care for your group, but are you the best at this job? Okay, I'm gonna hire you. I can work with that. I'm not gonna say I like it, but I can work with it. And I can work.
I can work with it.
Don't get confused with like. I don't say I don't like it, but I can
work with. That's what I'm telling JB.
But some races you can't work with. But some races you really can't work with. Like I keep telling people that a lot of people on the left are kind of undermining you, even though they're smiling in your face. Versus the right, they tell you flat out, I don't particularly care for y'all, and I'm not going to put legislation for you. But you can kind of get some stuff from them sometimes, even though that they loud about you, about their dislike, and you get more stuff versus the people telling you they like you when they don't give you anything. But you know.
No, JP, can I ask a question?
I need you to elaborate on what she just said, because you got on me about the money. I need you to get on her, but since she a pretty woman, we gonna spare you.
Well, there was nothing flattering.
Listen to what the sister said, right?
Hold on a second. Hold on. She does get pretty privileged, and 100%. I think she's beautiful.
I think she's beautiful too, bro.
And I think she has a beautiful soul. But I know Othello wanted to jump in.
Well, there was nothing flattering about the way my friend presented himself. You know, he was childish, he was disrespectful, as well as racist. And so to prop him up as some kind of truth teller, like we were trying to suppress him, I mean, that's cooning in itself. You know what I mean? Trying to, be some kind of savior to this man who can't conduct himself around other adults. And that's what I'm talking about here. Why are we going to tit for tat? You know what I mean? Why are we going tit for tat? And when we hear something about the Jewish community, right? Then we're saying, oh, wait a minute, JB. What about the black community and how we some niggas under the... Like, we don't have to do that in here, man. Cut that shit out.
JB,
Listen,
can I ask
JB,
a
let me
question?
say this. Some people don't have the intellectual capacity to go back and forth with my friend. You should just say you're a dummy. That's why you don't want a difference of opinion. No. I'll let you speak. I didn't interrupt you, brother. I didn't interrupt you. You have no self-control.
The whole room has called you a dummy.
Look at how Othello, hold on, bro.
You are the dumbest nigga.
Look how they have no self-control, bro. This is funny to me.
Nobody wants to hear you speak.
But yet, watch this.
Nobody wants to hear you speak.
He'll say my friend is the problem.
Nobody wants to hear you speak.
Othello, hold on, King. I want to hear him speak. That's why I'm bothering. I want to hear his perspective. His perspective, he's entitled to, just like you're allowed to have yours. But come on, bro, you got to show a little mic control.
I appreciate that. I'm not going to interrupt anybody. Right? This is the problem, right? We'll say that my friend is fucked up, when the truth is a lot of people just don't have the intellectual capacity to have the conversation with him like the beautiful Nicole was doing. Nicole was doing a beautiful job, right? JB, you checked his ass, he got out of control, you kicked him out. I agree with you. Cool.
I didn't kick him out. He went and opened his own room with my name at the top.
Okay, yeah, I think he peed me in there. Anyway,
calling me a grifter.
Because he's not on stage anymore, JB. I tried to bring him up. Anyway, I would love to see more people like Nicole, especially if you want to get your ass on stage. If you have no self-control, you don't know how to articulate yourself, you don't know how to convey your ideas clearly, why are you up here? That's my problem. This is me, JB. I think if a Nicole talks to my friend, I believe she has the ability to change that white mind, to change the racist mind. But if he can't control himself, then get his white ass out of here. I'm not mad at that, Jay.
And JB, can I go at some point?
Yeah, I got you ready. Hold on 1 second. Let me just say this. I need to stoke your success. I didn't throw him out, I just moved him down. Because he had no mic control. And I try to run a pretty tough ship here. Like I like to get everybody's voices in. But he has that entitlement where his voice is more important than ours. And I'm going to push back a little bit, then I'm going to go to Hermes and then Reddy. Listen, and I say this sincerely, Nicole, you are a beautiful woman. You cannot change a racist mind. It's part of their DNA. I don't care what anybody says. But once you get to a certain point in life, you can't change that person. Right? He is who... Okay, well, you're entitled to your opinion, man. Well, let me go to Hermes. You wanted to ask a question, I'm going to go to Reddy. Hermes?
Yeah, thank you, JB. Here's the quick question. So, we know the majority, I would say like 99% of ICE officers are racist, but out of those ICE officers, the agents, how many are Jewish?
Why? I have no idea, bro.
Matter at all.
Yeah, I don't even understand that question, bro.
No, well, the reason I
Where's the data? Well, you're asking, do you have data to back up what you're asking?
No. It's a real question. I was just saying that if we're talking about racism, and you're saying that that your community is among the most racist among community.
Let me. It was. I just thought of that question. Well, then find the data, because I have no idea. Because I'm going to be honest, respectful, and ask that question. My community's busy being doctors, lawyers, and so on. They're not ICE agents. I'm sure there's a few Jews out there, but they're not going into ICE, right? But let me go to. First of all, let me say hello to Jane. Jane, how you doing?
I'm okay, Jay. I don't have the data either, but
do you have any? Did I lose my Jew card today, Jane?
Not by me.
Am I entitled to my opinion?
I want to know what the fuck's going on. I'm curious, Jay. What has prompted this? But no, of course not.
Just my lived experience in the hypocrisy of the Jews on this app, right? I could do 1,000 rooms for Israel, raise thousands of dollars for hostage families, and yet I still get excommunicated for holding a mirror up to my community. Everything good beforehand doesn't matter. We are the most sensitive community in the world, Jane. And I understand why. I understand the oppression we went through, but we're not the only ones that went through the oppression. Black community's been oppressed forever in America. Not all blacks, a majority of blacks. But we can sit here, if I open a room and just talked about the black light in America, oh my God, I have 1,000 people in here. It's okay to talk about it. But when I say about the Jewish community, oh my God, I'm excommunicated. That's crazy to me.
Me too. That's ridiculous. But you know how that goes. I wonder what well, you do you, Jay. I support you, but I think that Herman's question is stupid, and I don't understand. I would like to change my opinion on that. Why are you asking that, Hermes? Why do you want to know if there are racists? I mean, Jews. The percentage of Jews who might be ICE agents. It's a strange question, I think. What is your curiosity?
So we're talking. JB was talking about racism within the Jewish community, and right now my community, I'm Mexican American. We're experiencing racism like I've never seen before. That doesn't mean it hadn't happened before, right? There was Operation Whipback. So I was curious to know, because I don't know that data. I've never seen the data, but it's a real question.
I'm confused. Why is it a real question?
I don't know.
Well, they say in academia.
What was they?
Well, no. I'm sorry, changing the topic. I'm just saying in academia.
Okay, but that was a stupid question. I'm not an academic. But I want to move on.
This ain't college, I don't think.
I know. I'm not a professor. I'm a professor in my own life. So some of these questions are just ridiculous to me. But let me move on. Reddy, how you doing, Reddy? You want to have a dialogue with King?
Yeah, I appreciate it. I want to talk to this guy. I want to just start off by saying, man, that me personally, who I am and my experiences in life, I speak for a certain category. You know what I mean? Maybe not the category, maybe the category you preach to every day when you say the same thing about black people all day, every day. Right? Here's my thing. Hey man, how could you hop on this app and say it too? We share spaces as well. All due respect to you. Hope you enjoyed the holiday. How could you sit on this app, man, and every chance you get, you throw out some crazy shit about who you are and about, black people and drag them through the mud in front of this huge audience daily. I sit back and listen to that, and I heard you listen to that, man. Like, how could you do that in your heart? Like, I can see you saying, hey, black people got some things that's not so good. We need to do this and we need to do that. But I see both you and say, drag us, you know what I mean, through the mud. And how you look at yourself? You hate yourself and you look at yourself in the morning? How do you feel? How do you feel inside? And you say you got black kids too? You teach them that same bullshit? I have to just let you know that personally, man, because I don't like it. I think you need to reevaluate
I'm not saying you're not a smart guy, but man, if you hate yourself, say that. I'm gonna land with.
I'd be willing to bet a lot of money to take himself.
Just JB, I can respond to.
Of course, the mic is yours.
Yeah. So this is the problem. Brothers that don't know themselves think that if you hold black people accountable, you're a coon. I don't believe there's no brother in here more pro-black than me. Let's call Sinetta. Let's call Umar. Let's call the Pharaohs. Let's talk about black history. No. Black history and loving yourself does not take away holding yourself accountable. This is the problem in the community. We think that because you love blackness, you agree with everything that black people do. I don't. Sorry. I believe the people that love the most hold themselves accountable the most. I believe JB really loves Jewish people enough to address the elephant in the room. Here I am, black, really loving myself, saying, you know what? I don't like the fact we keep calling our women bitches and hoes and leaving our kids out here to raise themselves. I don't like the fact that the ghetto ain't safe. I don't like the fact that we keep talking about white people are the enemy, but I keep cutting the radio on and niggas talking about killing each other. I don't like that. Malcolm X wasn't just for you, brother. You gotta go and read. Malcolm X wasn't for everything that black people did. Martin Luther King wasn't for black people, for everything that black people did. Elijah Muhammad wasn't for everything that black people did. If you're for everything that black people do, how do black people become better? I believe this is almost equivalent to what JB's asking Jewish people. How do we become better as a people if we don't hold ourselves accountable? So I love us. I really love us. I really love my brothers. I'm the one that'll stand out in the blaze for you. I'm willing to die for you, King. I just want you to be right. I'm tired of dying for the unrighteous because before I was black or before I knew what it was, I was a child of God. I stand for righteousness. The problem is, brothers want me to be black with them and be wicked with you. That's not how I was raised. Sorry. Mom and Daddy took me to church on Sunday morning, taught me how to love. So I know there's bad black people and there's good black people. There's bad white people, there's good white people. There's bad Jewish people. See, this is common sense. So there's no self-hate. There is only self-accountability. Sorry. Y'all want somebody to kiss y'all ass. Now, this is my thing. We live in a world where people are letting people get away with everything. More than ever, our generation, I got to say this to the people in the room, our generation, we don't have the same courage our parents had. We don't even discriminate the same. Everything is easy. How is that working out for us? How is that working? I want you to look online. After you get out of JB's room, I want you to look online. How is this working for us? This go along to get along thing. We're watching the world crumble before our eyes. And we're worried about somebody holding us accountable? God forbid JB says something that helps the Jewish community see that guess what? Sometimes your shit does stink. He's a villain for that. I'm a villain for telling black people we can be better. Come on, family. I love you. Shout out to that brother. Listen, man, I love myself more than you know. And loving myself is accountability. That's just real, JB. How can you even become a better man unless you say, yo, I need to wake up earlier. I need to lift weights. I need to talk to my girl right. I need to pray. I need to meditate. See, JB, I learned that self-love comes from self-actualization. It's examining self first. So I love myself enough to be critical upon myself because I want to see myself be a better man. The same way I love the black community enough to say, you know what? There's some things we need to work on. Love us. Look how far we've come. But there's still things we need to work on. JB, back to you.
Thank you. Ready? I'm going to give you I'm going to give you a minute to respond, and then I'm going to go around the group. Okay?
Appreciate that, JB. Hey, King. You missed key points in what I was talking about. What you did was you continued to drag the black community. I don't care about you bringing up all these historical names and all that means nothing. You continue to drag and make complaints about the black community. And then you said a few things about get up and work out, get up and pray and meditate, which is good. But pretty much your argument was complaining about the black community. So you hate yourself, bro. It's not like I'm gonna leave that alone. I gotta go eat with the family.
Guys,
Let me say this. I learned not to argue with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Sometimes you're just arguing with a fool. Why would you? I'm not in the convincing business. And the truth is, a lot of people in our community don't have the IQ to have these type of conversations. See, people don't understand the truth lies in the middle. The reason why the Jewish person can't see JB's perspective is because they're leaning too far to this side or that side. The truth lies in the middle. This is what's going on right now. So that brother's leaning so hard till he can't even see the truth about what's going on. So I wish him the best. Shout out to him, man. Go ahead, Jay.
Thank you. Then I want to do a reset.
I was gonna say, but that's another example, and I'm not trying to shit on Reddy. I like Reddy, you know, we're on opposite sides of the spectrum, but he's able to have a conversation. But again, here's another black man trying to accuse another black man of hating. But this black man has black kids that didn't marry the mother of his fucking children and create a black family. I'm sorry, the most honorable thing you can do as a black man is to marry the black mother of your children and create a black nuclear family. And the niggas that got the most smoke, for niggas like me, King, KP, they don't even marry the fucking women that they marry, and they don't even create a fucking black nuclear family. So this is weird to me. This is extremely weird. You got more smoke with me, but every day you wake up and consciously make a decision that I'm gonna leave this black woman and my black kids out in the cold to fend for themselves instead of doing the right thing as a black man and helping to create a solution and create a black nuclear fucking family. I don't get this shit.
Alright, let me do a quick room reset. Thank you, King. Thank you, Sig. Guys, it's Healthy Debates. The world's on fire. Bigots, racists, reprobates are allowed in. So I started this room calling out the Jewish community, and obviously that lives in it. By the way, Jordan, I'm not mocking you because I don't want any blowback to come to you, to be honest with you. There's going to be blowback from the show. I'll handle the smoke. But I called out the Jewish community as being, in my opinion, my lived experience, nobody can fucking tell me about. Actually, more racist things come out of the Jewish community's mouth. The way they lead, right? They're not renting an apartment to Blake. They're not going to welcome Blake into their homes. They're just not. Now, they may smile in your face, but they're going to definitely talk shit behind your back. So I feel as a real man, it's my responsibility to hold certain people accountable, especially this my community. So I'm getting a lot of blowback from the Jewish community. I'm going to be excommunicated, which is fine. I don't give a fuck. I'm my own man. But here's the thing. We've had two Jews come up on stage. Zach, who drops the N-word like you say hello. And then we had another Jewish man come up and say, call for the extenuation of an entire race. Kill all the Palestinians and their children. That's exactly what he said. And I'm like, wait a second. You don't represent the Jewish community, right? But if I call him a racist, I get excommunicated. I hold the mirror up to a certain community. I'm the bad guy. I think that's bullshit. Why is the Jewish community so fucking hypersensitive to criticism? And it's not just hyperbolic criticism, it's real life lived experience. So with that, let me say good morning to, I have to say hello to B because she'll beat me up if I don't. What's up, B? B, are you there?
I'm here. That's not true, JP. You know that's not true. Just kiss
What's not true?
I'm gonna beat you up. Snuggle. That's it.
Okay.
Stop.
Snuggle.
Exactly. We already are.
Gotcha. Thank you, B. Blake, how you doing, Blake? Long time no speak, man.
Man, good morning. Good morning, JB. I just want to say Jewish people make the greatest public defenders for blacks. So, but anyhow, the what you just heard, the exchange between the moderator and the other guy is a prime example. And he did say something that I think is missed and needs to be learned on these discussions is don't commit to how he said don't commit to arguing with people who are committed to misunderstanding. And that is a tactic. That's a tactic, and it's a problem, especially in the black community, with this deliberate poor comprehension in conversation. Like they just have no comprehension skills. Like this man just laid it out, told him his personal background and how he personally loves his community, and that he loves his community so much that he holds his community accountable. But he still comes back with the same argument as like he never stated that. And that's that kind of deliberate misunderstanding that's used as a tactic to do away with the substance of what the opposing argument is putting up. And that shit right there, like, at some point, we gotta start getting like people like Sig that just say, man, fuck what you talking about. I don't care what you talking about. I said what I said, and that's what it is. Because the truth stands alone. The truth don't need no packaging. It is what it is.
JB, can I ask you something?
You can ask me anything you like. You may not like the answer.
No, I'm not sensitive. But I have friends that are also Jewish and friends that are Israeli, and they have a very similar experience to you. They always get called self-hating Jews whenever they disagree with any small thing within the community. And I just think it's interesting that you're calling it out because you're from, I'm guessing, from the US, and they're in Israel, and they're facing the same problem. Yeah. So my question is, do you think it? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
Do you think it's intrinsic, like something that's embedded deep in the Jewish community, or do you think it's something that's happened recently?
I think it's been historically. And listen, I don't speak for all Jews, and I'm not saying all Jews are racist. That's not my point. My point is, they have no problem with racism until it comes back to them. So, and I'm just speaking on my lived experience, what I've seen, what I've heard, what I've been around. But there's great Jews. There's bad Jews too. See, that's the thing, Chantel. We are the most hypersensitive group in the world.
Exactly.
You can't say shit about us.
Mm-hmm. And they're quick to ostracize each other, from my observation.
Okay, no argument for me. Let me say good morning to David. David, how you doing?
Oh, is JB the fucking master of everything? The gaslighting master of everything. Here we go.
That's what you came to the stage to say?
Yeah, listen to everyone. Everyone listen to what he has to say. He's the gaslighter. He knows what everyone wants to know.
I know you're an asshole.
And I know that you're a gaslighting piece of shit, mate.
Wait, why are you attacking him? What's going on?
Because he's a gaslighter. Like that. Do not listen to him. He's a gaslighter. No matter what
you can disagree with him, but you say
he will gaslight the fuck out of you. The guy is a piece of shit.
And when did he gaslight you?
Huh?
Do you feel better now?
Oh, we hate each other. I think he's a piece of shit, this guy.
I don't have enough energy to hate you. I don't have enough energy to hate you. I don't have enough energy to hate you. You're irrelevant, bro. On this happened in real life.
Don't call me bro, mate. I'm not your fucking brother. I think you're a piece of shit.
Okay, you can say that he's a bad person, but
look at all the people in your room that you are happily, gaslighting. Go on, mate.
How is he gaslighting if he
I'll listen to you.
You're not proving no point, though. How is he gaslighting? Break it down, bro. Give us some knowledge, man.
Listen to him talk.
Okay, I've been listening to him talk and he's disagreed with me on several points. How is this gaslighting?
Oh, just listen. Just let it go for 5 minutes and listen to the way he talks to people.
Do you need a hug? You okay?
We've been in here a little longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah, I bet. And I bet he's gaslighted every one of you. I bet he's made every one of you his bitch. I bet he has.
He really has it, brother. I think
nah, bro. You watch he does.
I think he just had a few.
He's a calculated little bitch, this guy.
I think you're under the influence of some substances.
So this is how you
absolutely not.
I often say, you know what a hater is? A hater is somebody that hates you for no reason.
In my country, a hater is someone that hates.
Hold on a second, I got you.
But I hate
this dude can't even state his claim.
I bet this guy.
He needs to tell me what did JB? What did he say?
$1 million.
Okay, Ozzy, mate. Why do you think he's a gaslighter? Give us an example.
Right, give me an example. Break it down.
Just keep listening. You'll see.
Hold on.
I'm supposed to have some guys out like know, JB. But I'm gonna still gotta sound like a leprechaun. Just listen. Like, give me the pot of gold, man. Stop playing with us.
Yeah, Evie, could you imagine if
Irish, he's Australian.
Could you imagine?
Well, give me the tangerine, man.
Now that I've put it to your attention, listen
Oh my
and
God.
think.
If you say you don't like someone, you have to say why.
Thank you.
I said what?
Yeah, Evie, could you imagine if we ran our? Could you imagine if we ran our justice
This
system like that?
JB guy is a disease.
Evie,
You listen to
Evie.
him.
Okay, you acting like
Evie, Evie, could you imagine if we ran our justice system like that, where you didn't have to provide a shred of evidence? The only thing you had to say, well, just look at him and you'll see. Okay, guilty. Like we don't operate like that.
Yeah, but I don't think you should be mentioning the American justice system, which is very flawed and
Listen to the
terrible.
man. Listen
Well,
to
I'm going to talk so you can listen. So I sat here for, I don't know, 10 minutes, didn't say a word, but you notice how my other speakers stood right up for me? Maybe because I've been dying. Maybe you're just an idiot that's jealous. Maybe you're just jealous. Listen, maybe you're just jealous. Maybe you're just jealous I have a bigger dick than you. So why don't you sit around and listen and tell me if I gaslight? Okay?
Is that why you hang around black people so much, JB?
I'm not even touching it.
Pause. That sounded super homo. Like, fuck out of here with that. Yo, but shout out to the white leprechaun guy. The fuck, bro?
Stop saying leprechaun. He's not Irish. He's Australian.
I know he still sound like a leprechaun to me. Yeah, because like you Carmen Sandiego and shit. What you fucking yes, and shit, shut your ass up. Because you're from America. Like a leprechaun.
Hold on a second. But did you notice that you came up on the stage and you're the one that's gaslighted the room?
I wouldn't care if he was from Idaho. He still sound like a leprechaun.
Idaho.
He still sound like Count Dracula. JB, quit gaslighting me, bro.
King, you killing me.
I don't want any dress for JB because I don't want him to wrinkle, okay? Keep it calm, keep it moisturized.
I'm moving you down so we can go on with the conversation because if you really listen to what he was saying, he's the one that gaslighted the room. Coming up on stage with all that smoke and all that bullshit, but has no receipts on what he's saying. He's gaslighting. But if you guys want to bring him back up, be my guest. It's just going to grab a conversation. But let me say hello to David. David, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. So kind of my viewpoint on a couple things. I have two things. I think people can change. I used to make certain comments and quotation mark jokes. Now I realize they weren't really jokes. They were, racist shit. I mean, I wasn't really trying to be racist. I was just being small-minded and had a lot of self-hate. And also, a lot of that was living in Chicago. Chicago, in my opinion, is very segregated. There's a lot of hidden racism in Chicago. And it wasn't until I moved out of Chicago and started moving around the country, kind of opened me up and started doing my own work. So that's one point. Another thing is I think the groups, in my opinion, in my experience, that could be the most bigoted, racism, entitlist are the super religious. Not everyone. There's a lot of super religious people that are great people. But I'm talking about whether it's Mormon, whether it's Jewish, whether it's Catholic, whether it's Baptist. Who gives a shit who someone marries? I'm not attracted to guys, but if I was, who gives a shit? And yet, why should someone else try to tell me who I should marry? And that goes to a lot of things. I mean, I think there's a lot of entitlism to people that are very religious. And as I said, whether it's Jewish, Catholic, Mormon, and when I lived out west around some diehard Mormon people, holy shit, talk about the entitlism. And, I'm sure that I could deal with the same thing if I moved to a highly Jewish community or highly Catholic community. Well, technically in Chicago, the Catholic Irish, and I know the Irish have their own issues with, suppression, all that. But same thing, I think the super religious are more likely, not everyone, to be super entitled and bigoted, racist, whatever you may want to call it.
Thank you, David. Let me say good morning to, I skipped her and I didn't mean to. Good morning, Nye. How you doing?
Good morning. I came in here and, man, I'm just in the background cracking up. This room is wild on any given day. And shout out to King. When I came in, King was dropping the fire. But listen, I
I just want to say, shout out to the Jews. The best cup of coffee I ever had was my accidental visit at a Jewish day school when I was living in LA for 20 years.
No, I'm sorry. I have to address something real quick, and I apologize. So my friend, you piece of shit, what happened? You got 3 people in your room with my name in the title as a grifter? Is that what happened? Nobody gives a fuck? You're irrelevant? How about that? You're a fucking irrelevant, you always have been, you're a fucking racist, and you're a disgrace to the Jewish community. So, why don't you be a fucking man and fucking learn and listen? I'm not triggered. People tell me open the room, and I said, you know what I said? I don't give a fuck. They'll get 4 people in there. And that's what happened. You're a loser. You always have been. You always will be. Keep your fucking racist remarks to yourself. I'm sorry, not.
If you could, bring them back up too. If you could,
what I have to say is nothing to do with nothing. I just want to acknowledge the best cup of coffee I ever had was by a Jew. I wonder if they harvested those beans from the Dead Sea. So shout out to the Jews with the secret.
I hate you so much.
I hate you so much. There's drama because I was in that room. I saw the headline. I was like, wait a minute. I've seen Homeboy in this space. So what the hell's happened between Homeboy and JB? So I'm going to go on mute and let Homeboy.
Yeah, bring him back up. Since he wants to act like a little bitch. Because you do, bro. Every time JB do a room, you act like you're better than the host. You don't even have any fucking class. I never met a more low-class white man than my friend. You act like a bitch, bro. And you got a Batman suit on, really Robin. You look bad. Come up here with some respect and have the conversation.
Well, here's the thing. He'll say, let's have a conversation, but then he'll come off mic every 2 seconds when he disagrees with somebody. And then he likes to make fun of black people, which I'm not cool with.
Yeah, that's the IQ to really have a conversation with a black person that doesn't agree with him, and that's why he spoke over Nicole, which proves that he's really dumb. If he was smart, he would have more self-control, and he would let somebody converse with him. But he can't do that, JB. I'm sorry. He ate lunch at school with a helmet on. He was clearly in a slow class.
I agree, but before we bring him back up, before you guys bring him back up, I want to have dialogue with Caliph. Rabbi, how you doing?
I'm alright. How are you, Jay?
I'm great. You're a little bit in the matrix. Rabbi, respectfully, have I lost my Jew card today?
Can you hear me, Jay?
Yes, sir, I can hear you clearly. I asked you, have I lost my Jew card? Have I lost my Jew card today because I called out what I see my lived experience? You must still be in the matrix because I can't hear you now.
Or you must have lost your Jew card.
You know, there are parts of the Jewish community are quite intolerant, so don't worry about the gatekeeping.
Oh, Rabbi, respectfully and with grace and love, I don't care what. They've never accepted me, they never will. But I think it's our responsibility if we see something wrong in our community to call out that part of the community. And that's the problem they have, because let's keep it real, Rabbi. The Jewish community is hypersensitive to any criticism.
It's we're on guard right now. That's true. That's true.
But when I say, and it's just my opinion, Rabbi. My opinion should be irrelevant to everybody. But if you're doing the same thing over and over again, it's the definition of insanity. So when we're in Gaza. Right, 2 years later, and I understand it's guerrilla warfare.
Isn't this what he's doing?
It's just not working out. We need a different plan. I'm not Jewish enough because I should support Israel blindly, and I can't live like that.
No, I can't live like that either. And I think if you really ask individuals, right, and not sort of like groups, and certainly not in these like public forums, but like in real relationship one-to-one, I think you'll find much more nuance and much more diversity. In public, there's a defense, right? There's people feel like they need to defend against the Jew haters, right, in public. But I think in private, people are people. They have complicated views about these things.
Well, let me ask you a question, Rabbi, and be honest. Have I been one of the biggest supporters of Israel and the Jewish community on this app since October 7th?
In my opinion, yes.
And your opinion matters to me, but
I guess before October 7th,
that's not going to be enough for our community. Because I call out what I see inside our community. So because I held a mirror up, I'm not a Jew. I'm a self-hating Jew. It just doesn't make sense. Rabbi, as a
Harry
Jew,
Balzac, I would just encourage you to read a book today. Go to the gym because this is all literally.
When I look to the
Just, everything is projection here. It's like the definition of insanity. He literally just said it is. This is a psych ward. This is like for people who didn't graduate college and they're still stuck at the high school level, basically.
which is a big miss.
And we know he definitely didn't go to college. That's for sure.
He was a pimp. He went to jail for pandering, for literally organizing fucking prostitution. He's a federal felon.
I saw the article
I have
about
nothing
it.
but respect for this guy. So, he didn't take my shoes
Not a
off,
Jewish
right?
last name.
He's not Jewish. He's a grifter. He stirs the shit pot. That's what he does. He's a con man.
Will come up on stages and say the most disparaging thing about another community.
And people love that shit. I don't know why they love it.
It's because he organizes Jew hate.
Shut up! I see you can't. Oh, that's it. Just the N-word.
And
Just
it's
the
for
N-word.
black people. Like, he wants to be
But
black
I
so
did not
badly.
understand what
He organizes all forms of hate. The guy is a fucking hate organizer.
It's okay to insult me personally.
It's crazy, bro.
You also opened the room about me, which I think is stupid.
I was asking the clubhouse community if you're a grifter.
He said, I'm not triggered. It's open a room about me.
Apparently, I'm not. Because I put my cash out there. So wait, it's okay that this ad monetizes themselves, but I've been doing this for 5 years for free. My time is not as valuable as anybody else's. I shouldn't ask for people if you enjoy the conversation, donate to my cash app.
It's just my opinion.
Okay. You don't speak for the Jewish community just like I
I never said that I do.
Okay, so when you come up here with your little accents, trying to make fun of the black voice, when you come up here and drop the N-word, and then the blowback comes onto the Jewish community because of people like you, you think it's funny.
I don't think that, I mean, I understand that as a Jew, I'm an ambassador to the Jewish community, but I think if you have a bad experience with me and you judge all Jews as a result of that bad experience, that makes you a racist, and it's not my responsibility.
Oh, man.
For example, I mean, I have bad experiences with black people on this app sometimes, but it doesn't translate into me hating all black people. So that's kind of the comparison.
Oh, shit.
Honestly, I didn't have anything to say, JB. An hour
Oh
ago,
my
I came in
God.
the room and you mentioned my name immediately, and you said that I took away your Jew card. I came off mute to say I never took away your Jew card, and you instantly moved me to the audience and started shitting on me.
You know why I moved you?
Are you Jewish, JB?
No, I have no idea why you moved me to the audience.
Because you don't shut up and you interject at the wrong times.
Well, but everybody does that on this app, and you only move me.
You more than most people. Stop being so
Okay, well,
hypersensitive.
I guess that you're triggered by something that I do, and I'm sorry.
No, you're not, because you continue to do it.
Yes, I just said I'm sorry, and I get to decide if I'm sorry or not. I said I'm sorry, and you can't take that away from me. I'm sorry, JB. I didn't mean to upset you.
Thank you for your apology. You didn't upset me. You're irrelevant. Yes, Keegan, I'm
All
sorry.
right, well, I think you're a manipulative narcissist.
But wait. I open rooms that people come to. You open rooms
We
that
come
people
here
come
to
to.
gawk and laugh at you. I mean, I listen to you while I'm doing the dishes in my apartment. Taking a
Yeah,
shower.
but you still come.
I come to a lot of rooms on Clubhouse. I go listen to a beer that's terrorist as well. Hey, you can't let me talk every time. Okay, you notice how you can't have a conversation.
That's right.
I'll stay on mute. You keep talking.
That's right.
I'll stay on mute. You keep talking.
I will.
I didn't say terrorist. I said terrorist supporter, but because JB wouldn't let me talk, you didn't hear what I had to say.
Yeah, so let me go to Keegan. Yeah, Keegan, you want to ask about my Judaism? You want to see my circumcised cop?
Well, I mean, just because you're I'm Jewish, but circumcision is actually just in America a very aesthetic thing. I think like 75% of all males are circumcised in America. But I thought, and maybe again now I feel like I'm wrong. I thought we had a distinct conversation back when October 7th happened that you are just a pro-Zionist, not Jewish, but you are now stating that you are Jewish. I just want to make sure I'm clear. I thought you weren't, and now this just news.
I'm so glad that I have to answer to you. Actually, on October 7th, and then on before October 7th, I never played my Jew card. You know why? Because of anti-Semitism when that happened. That allowed me to get into spaces. Hold on, let me finish. That allowed me to get into spaces that most Jews aren't allowed in. I wanted to hear what people were saying and who I could trust.
Here comes the
So if my
heat.
Judaism bothers you somehow, that's a you problem, not a me problem.
Oh no, I'm not saying it bothers me. I truly was just.
You just remember something.
Like, like a knowledge.
I lack the knowledge of what my lived experience.
I lacked the knowledge of you being Jewish. Not saying that you being Jewish is wrong. I'm just saying I did not have that knowledge, and now I do. And I was just throwing it up, making sure
See, I'll tell you what. I'll give you some. I'll change the title. JB's a proud Zionist Jew. Would that be good knowledge?
No, I'm not saying it. You're making it more serious than it is. I just thought that you.
Because I don't understand why. I don't understand why I have to answer to somebody like you.
Well, you don't. I'm just saying. I thought.
Okay, then what? I asked the question. I'm an Italian Jew. I know the world is. It's hard to see that Italians can be Jews. My father was Italian. My mother was Jewish. Would you like my 23andMe DNA test?
No. I'm not just claiming that you are Jewish. I'm just now I know that you are Jewish. I didn't know you were Jewish. I thought you were just a pro-Zionist this whole time.
Okay, I don't even understand what the point of me having to prove my Judaism is. Anyway, let's go on.
It's because if you make a claim, you should back it up with some
You're on
evidence.
here saying, I'm a Jew and I think Jews are the most racist group in America, which is an insane thing to say.
I also said...
And then you say, hit me in the cash app.
It also says, well, Jews like money, right? Isn't that the narrative?
Well, that's a weird thing to say, too.
See, that's why you have no mind control. That's why I move you down. Because you're a fucking idiot. What you have to say is more important. You say a statement, then I can't say something about your statement, but you can't shut the fuck up.
Jay Bresco's psychopathology on full display.
On October 7th, I claimed my Judaism. You know why? Because Jews needed an ally. I'm a Jew. I stand with my people. But I'm also, as a Jew, entitled to call out my community. Why can blacks open rooms and criticize themselves, but a Jew can't open a room and criticize my community? How does the fuck does that work? It's bizarre to me. You know, and it's my lived experience. If people have a problem with my lived experience, that's on you, not on me. I don't give a fuck. I call out what I see and what I've experienced. Now, I didn't say all Jews are racist. I said my lived experience has seen racism from the Jewish community. So now people want to pull my Jew. Oh, he just claimed to be a Jew. Yeah, because it wasn't safe to be a Jew on this app. Do you get it? It wasn't safe. There were little pockets of Judaism on this app that was very secular. But then October 7th happened and real men had to stand up. And that's exactly what I did. Thousands of rooms about pro-Zionists, thousands of dollars raised for...
Thousands of rooms? That's a lot of time, JB.
Let's all forget that. I'm a grifter, right, Zach? I made $200 in this app in 5 years. What's the stats on that? So I put my fucking Cash App in? I'm a grifter, you piece of shit? My time is as valuable as anybody else. And let me tell you something, man. It takes a lot of work to run these rooms. You think it doesn't have to deal with assholes like you who are mentally disturbed and should be taking some kind of Zoloft.
Ooh.
Yeah, you are a piece of shit. My app keeps glitching, man. So let me do a quick room reset. This is healthy debates. The world's on fire. Biggest, racist, reprobate.
It's not that healthy.
I said a statement this morning that set this up.
Super Unhealthy Debates by Jay Bresca.
What community have I seen to be the biggest racist, the most racist in what community? I said the Jewish community because that's my lived experience. I've heard it, I've seen it, I've lived it. And I'm not saying all Jews are racist. I'm saying the ones that I've been around. Okay? So if that triggers some of you people, you want to take my Jew card? Be my guest.
He's giving up his J card.
Jews and they're going to come after us forever. I'm going to stand down and let you guys be fucking deal with it yourself. Good morning, CEO.
Hey, good morning, all. Good morning, all.
It's just fucking hypocrisy, man. We'll open rooms. We can talk about the black plight and what's wrong with the black community. We'll talk about the Latino community, the Asian community, the South African community. But when I say one thing against the Jewish community, oh my God, I'm the worst Jew ever. So it's just weird to me. I've been the biggest supporter of my community on this app, barring that fucking death threats. My family's been threatened because I'm a fucking Zionist.
Ooh.
But you want to question my Judaism? Fuck you. You open rooms and stand up for Israel. But I'm going to call out what's wrong. Listen, Abby's in the room. I love Abby. She's a proud Zionist. I have no problems with that. She's not going to talk on what I talk on, and that's fine. She has a different perspective, lived experience than me. But this is some bullshit. We're going to go popcorn style, guys.
Cool. Who want to get in there? You can let him back up too, Jay, if you want to, man. My friend, I think he's trying to get up here. I can't let him up. They say, I think he's
I can't either. Maybe 9 could bring him up.
9. If you could bring my friend up.
I just invited him.
Yeah, if I could say one.
Yeah, we want to get to CO. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, man. These are hard conversations.
Good morning, brother.
Hey, man, King, how are you doing, man?
Man, I'm blessed. How about yourself?
Yeah, man, trying to work through it all, man. A little loopy this morning, but so please forgive me. But no, I just heard the conversation. I don't have much to say. But I think this is probably one of the first spaces and places that I've ever heard personally this conversation happening, right? Good, bad, or indifferent. It's just a different conversation than we ever have in any public space, no matter the size of the room. And I just wanted to make a couple of points on it. One is I've understood this reality for most of life, but it's just unpopular to discuss it, right? Whereas the people talk about racism, anti-Semitism, but don't understand the disparities in how we deal with race in America. We're biased. But, I actually, to some extent, have been a fan of what Jewish people do with regards to not allowing anybody to defame their community, right? Having the anti-defamation league is called what it's called, meaning that I've always imagined that the reason that is because the conditions in Nazi Germany weren't about the physical things, but rather the preconditions of how they were demonized that created a society that turned their head when people were treated a certain way. And I always imagined, not being a part of that community, that the never again will we allow people to demonize us in a way that makes us like roadkill. And so that's my fear with the black community, being black guy, that I see parallels in terms of how people are publicly, black or white, able to punch down on us like a sport. And so sometimes I know it's done in the spirit of we just need to get you together, but that's not how young people are hearing it. That's not how other people are hearing it. That's not how other cultures are hearing it. And some of the information that's used is just incorrect. If I'm really honest, I wish my community acted more in a way of not allowing anti-black rhetoric to proliferate freely without any consequence, because I think people quote unquote mean well. But I think we should look at these things and kind of sort of, figure out a way to understand that if you hear somebody using the current administration consistently call people, Africa shithole countries or Haitians eat cats and dogs, if you hear that for years and every day, why would you look up if somebody gets shot on the streets? It's like roadkill. You just keep moving. So I think the sensitivity and humanity that we need needs to be a part of every race. So I think JB has a point. Holding a mirror is one thing, but then I also think Jewish people have a point in terms of not letting people demonize your culture. I'll stop there.
Thank you, CO. So here's the deal. I think every community is open to criticism, but the hypersensitivity that comes out of the Jewish community, bro, just read the chat. He's not really a Jew. He just came out after October 7th. No, maybe because it wasn't safe for me to come out before then. Maybe it allowed me to get into spaces and hear what people really think. See, I don't want nobody to come up on my stage and be modded in my space and say, I love Jews, and then go to another room and say, call for extermination of Jews. I want to know who my enemies are. Nicole, you want to say something?
Yeah. To CO, what CO was saying, I do agree with that. But here's another part to that, CO, is that unfortunately with the black community, we don't listen. We don't listen, even if this room is all black and we're talking to each other, we don't listen. There's no shame, there's no standard, it's gone out the window. And although it hurts, it feels like a bunch of needles stabbing you in a room full of people that are not us. that's how it is. And so people just get tired and they just say it. They just say it wherever they say it. We can't say it when we're together. We can't say it when we're amongst family. We can't say it in the church. We can't say it. The only thing we can do is denigrate each other in music. But then when we try to have a conversation with family, we still can't say it. So when are they going to listen? When are they going to listen? Because they hear it when they hear it from other people. They hear it when they hear it from people saying it amongst other people. But they never hear it when we're talking to them directly. And I'm not trying to make this about black people. I'm just responding to what you're saying. Like, we would love to say what we're saying to our people and they actually hear it. Just like JB is saying, look, why is it they can have self-criticism of their group, but then when we have self-criticism, we can't. The difference is Jews have standards. And it's known there's certain accept in this community. So if another group has something to say about us, we're dealing with that because we already deal with our own people. The problem is we don't deal with our own people. We don't want, none of them want to be told anything. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, screw you. You didn't grow up like I grew up, screw you. You don't believe what I believe,
That's
screw
my
you.
lived
You don't vote like I vote,
experience.
screw you. So, the Jews are, when they come out, I don't care if if they have inner turmoil, we don't know, because when they come out, they're all on one accord. How can you get on one accord with people who don't want to be on one accord? If you don't agree with their dysfunction and their mindset, they're done. You're a sellout. That's it. End of discussion. How do you move forward? How do you move forward as a society if every group was like that?
I have a question for you.
And I would love to respond back when I.
Hold on, W. Let's see. I'll have the dialogue with them, and I'll come back to you, W. You guys.
Hey, Nicole. Let me first say I hear you, and I hear that you as a human have the profile of what you said as a voice. And I and JD heard me yesterday in that tense conversation we had to say that for what it was worth, our culture has not listened to the quote unquote fatigue of people that don't want to hear about slavery, don't want to hear about what we've gone through, don't want to hear about our quote unquote victimization. And I understand there's a voice and that we should as a community listen, but I just wanted to just point out really quickly the peril of what you said. Like, if you really put what you said together with what some people have said, right? You're saying not some black people, even JB and the reconciliation with the gentleman or whatever, because I think JB's a really powerful guy, and what he's doing is noble. But at least they said some Jews. They consistently said some Jews. But typically when we're on here, you basically, even though you don't realize it, you basically said all blacks are dysfunctional. All blacks don't listen. All you alluded to rap music. You said several disparaging things, and you just said it's the problem of all blacks, right? And I'm just, and then King, who I've really, been a fan of some of the things King has said. I haven't heard him but a few times here, but even King said blacks don't have the IQ to do it, even though he didn't mean it that way. My point is the language and how we've come to use it is just dangerous because it paints a picture that lumps all black people together, meaning if you have a certain color skin or a certain phenotype, then you are this way. And I think we should make caveats to understand that you're not talking about all black people, because I just sat here and listened to you, Nicole, and I am black. And there's a lot of blacks that listen. There are a lot of blacks that are educated. There's a lot of blacks with high IQs and a lot of blacks that are accomplished. So I'm just saying I don't like the way that we've come to this social norm of anti-blackness for the sake of accountability, running rampant. And I really think we should stop it. One other point, if I could, thank you, Nicole, for your point. I did hear you, no pun intended, but I did want to allude to something JB said before closing the mic really quick. And JB said that in order to get into spaces, because he understands the nuances of how the world works, he just didn't announce who he was, right? Here's the crazy thing, and this is the disparity between cultures, right? That's unique to my culture. Nowhere I can go in the world that I can denounce or undo or be invisible with this dark brown skin that I am and the bias that comes with it. I'll land there.
So let me respond to you, and let me respond to you because you weren't here an hour ago, maybe an hour and a half ago. My first comment that I said when I came off the mic was that when we had a lot of these discussions need to be said amongst family. But when we come in general spaces, I am kumbaya. Because I'm not going to hang out our dirty laundry in front of everybody. I'm not. And I'm not going to do it for the sake of being friendly. And that's what a lot of people want. I think that you let your community off and you don't recognize the thugs and the thoughts in your community if you don't come in here and throw them under the bus. That's a lot of sentiment going around the clubhouse, and I don't agree with it. I said that I'm not going to throw my people up under the bus to be cool with you. But I'm also not going to lie, CO. I'm just not going to lie. And it is what it is. And our community, and I don't have to say all, because I think you're intelligent enough to know that I'm not talking about all black people, because I'm the one that always says we are not a monolith. We're all different. I'm the one that always makes an argument, but I'm not going to sit up here and lie and say that our people will listen. They won't. And that's why it's so refreshing to hear they don't. And you want me to say all, not all. But there are some of us who will not listen. And it's refreshing to hear JB say, I'm calling out my people, because it seems like on this app, only black people have the heart to address each other on the app. And it's refreshing that he's calling out his, and I'm here like, yes, finally somebody else calling out their folks. Like somebody else being called out their name because they're holding their people accountable. Just finally, somebody else is doing it, because it seems like we're the only ones. And when we have all black rooms, they still don't want to be held accountable. And I'm sorry if that hurts to say it in mixed company, but I say it forever. I guarantee you I have the same heart and passion, and I'm very, very parallel on every room. Every room I go to, I'm going to say the same thing. It's not going to differentiate because white folks are in the audience, because Jews in the audience, and Latinos. I'm going to say it with my whole chest. I'm going to tell you I vote for Trump. I'm going to tell you I love Jesus. I'm going to tell you I'm pro-life in every single room. And if that hurts people's feelings, it just does. Because in our community, if you don't agree with the collective, the larger collective, then you're a sellout. And people are tired of that. Because how do we get better with that? That's just like the United States on a largest. How do we get better with that? JB is telling his people, how do we get better with that? You hate anti-Semitism, so let's break it down. That's all I'm saying.
JB, can I ask you and Nicole a question though? Or you ain't gonna call anybody, just JB really quick.
Yeah.
Is there any history anywhere of a culture that runs this model and becomes, kind of sort of moves on, right? Because basically, I think black people have a bigger burden to be ambassadors for the black people. People say, I gotta hold myself responsible, even though the stuff that Nicole's speaking about with black people doesn't apply to me, but I gotta be accountable just because I got brown skin. So I guess what I'm saying is this ambassadorship just by default, because you're born with a particular race or ethnicity. We talk about history all the time, right? I would love to know if anybody has any historical data that says if you announce that your culture is shit in front of everybody, then that's going to make you more accountable and put you as a better person. This whole concept of, is it the Romans, the Etruscans, the Egyptians, I don't know.
I don't know if it's historically if it ever works. But I just felt the responsibility to say what I said. Now, people don't have to agree with it. I guarantee you 95% of the Jews on this app will never speak to me again. I don't give a fuck. Then those aren't the people I want around me anyway. But unless we ask the questions, how do we get the answers? Unless we call out our own community. Listen, it's easy for me to open these rooms, right? And we can talk on black plight, Puerto Rican plight, South African plight all day long. But why is it a problem when I speak on my community, from my community? Is it like a dirty little secret I'm not supposed to expose?
I don't think it's a problem, but I'd like to hear at least one example of Jewish racism.
I said it was my lived experience.
Can you give an example from your lived experience?
Yeah, I've seen Jewish people turn down black people for apartments because they didn't want blacks in the building. That's my lived experience. Now, once again, I said it's my lived experience. Not all Jews are like that. Most Jews aren't. But when I was asked the question, in your lived experience, what community have you seen the most racism from? I said, in my community. That's exactly what I said. It's my lived experience. I've seen it. W, go ahead, man. You've been patient waiting.
Yeah, it's fine. And basically, if anybody, no matter what religion you are, no matter what race you are, you make a mistake, or you do something that is harmful to others, we have the right to correct it or rectify the affair. It doesn't matter if you're a Muslim, you're a Christian, or a Jew. You guys speak about it, and that's the first one. But I want to ask you guys a question. I'm living in the UK. Don't get offended, yeah? I'm just curious with a question. In the UK, I'm living in a different community, but the Jews in some cities, they keep themselves. So the question, why don't they interact with the community, with the people, with the Christian, with the Muslim? I see them in some cities, they keep themselves. For example, they have their own ambulance, doctors, hospital, places. So my question, why don't they interact with the people around us?
So you're talking about like a group of like ultra-Orthodox Jews. Yeah, Marshall, hold on. Let the rabbi answer this because this is his lane.
Yeah, I think there's some historical reasons for that. Like after emancipation and modernity hits, some Jewish communities rejected modernity and rejected the integration that Enlightenment brought with it, and they became very insular communities. These are mostly very Orthodox communities, ultra-Orthodox communities, and given the history for the Jews over the past couple hundred years, and even before that, there is a suspicion. I'm not saying it's founded or legitimate or anything like that. There is a suspicion of the majority society when it comes to these insular groups, and they feel more comfortable having their own doctors inside in-house and all these various things. So I don't think that's a representative of the majority Jewish community. I think most Jews in the West have what's the word I'm looking for? Have assimilated to the point where they're functional in society with non-Jews, with black people, with right. Oh, and by the way, parentheses, I just need to say, there's black Jews, there's Latino Jews, there's Chinese Jews, there's Indian Jews, right? So we shouldn't necessarily have this divide between Jews and black people. That's like artificial. I think that's really important.
What's up?
So W, I hope that answers your question, right? There's like some historical reasons for this, and I think there are legitimate reasons for Jewish communities to be suspicious or skeptical or fearful.
Okay, I got part of the answer, but the question is this. Okay, for doctors, maybe you want to have your own doctors. It's not a big deal for me. But the question is, why don't you interact with the people to welcome them into your community, for example? Like, doesn't matter. I'm a Muslim, right? So as a Muslim, I welcome anybody to the mosque, for example. I welcome, even I've spoken to Christian, even atheists, I welcome them. We have some food together. I invite them. I said, the door's open. But what I notice about the Jews, and as you mentioned, not all the same, I agree with you. But my question is, why don't you allow people to enter to see what's going on? At least have an open door.
Hold on, Abby, 1 second. I think when you have individual relationships, people get invited to synagogue and to Shabbat and to holidays all the time, right? Part of what I think we're talking about here is community to community and not person to person, right? And I've experienced in my life, right, in the person to person relationships, there is that welcoming bit. You also have to consider and put this where it goes. I'm not sure where it goes. Jews don't proselytize. So the desire to, right, the kind of, when we get together, we're getting together for our thing and whatever. People are welcome at synagogue. People are welcome in Shabbat dinners. We're happy to share the tradition. And we are vigilant about people that we don't know showing up at the door for good, legitimate reasons. For safety reasons. So there's a tension. So there's a tension built, right? So I think there's a tension built in there to how Jewish community functions, how we are feeling these days safety-wise, and who we know and who we don't know, right? So I'll land here. The relationships between people, between neighbors, these are the things that help societies live together and become integrated and things like that. It's tougher to do on like a larger scale community to community. But I think if we can build those relationships, then we're going to do much better.
Let me jump in here real quick. got you. I'm actually coming to you now. So Abby, and I'm being as honest and sincere as I've ever been. You know I love you. I have nothing but respect and admiration for you. But what I said today, right, I meant. And it's just been my lived experience. My Jew card's going to get pulled today. I guarantee no Jew on this app is going to fuck with me. They're going to forget the thousands of rooms I ran for pro-Zionists, the thousands of dollars I raised for hostages' families. But when I call out the racism that I've seen in the Jewish community, they don't like that. It's like a secret I'm not allowed to expose. Now, it's just been my lived experience, Abby. But I also say, there's really good Jews out there. Somebody like you, somebody like Rabbi. I'm not saying all Jews are racist. I'm just saying the ones I've experienced. But Abby, welcome to the room. The mic is yours.
I mean, I didn't hear you say it. Like, totally focused on what's going on with Iran. So it's just not, it's not where I'm coming from. But I wanted to answer the position in the room. So I'm part of an international organization, but it's mostly based in Israel, that is on the ground EMTs, and it's physicians that are Jews, Muslims, and Christians, and they're volunteer, and it's called United Hatzalah, and the doctors work with each other very closely. The communities the physician communities are incredibly close. You can Google, you can read all about it. We use ambucycles, and we're able to get on an emergency scene within 90 seconds using a very big motorcycle that has ambulance supplies on it. Again, our volunteers are Muslim, Christian, and Jewish. We also have these throughout. Well, sorry, I'm going to turn. Anyway, we have these throughout the world, and we work with physicians that are volunteers that are Muslim, Christian, and Jewish, and Baha'i, and Hindu. So I wanted to respond to you. I'm not going to get into the stuff Caleb said. I think what he said was great. But with respect to physicians, and I'm also a professional, and I work in a professional field as a lawyer, and we don't have boundaries in our professions. I have not seen those boundaries. So I'm not sure what you're seeing in your profession. I know there's many Muslim physicians at Long Island Jewish and at Mount Sinai Hospital and at many of the Jewish hospitals. I also know Jewish physicians that work at a lot of the Catholic hospitals. I don't see where those barriers are on the professional, and I would tell you to reach out. But if you look at the bigger Jewish hospitals, or when I say the ones that are founded by Jewish organizations originally, or still have the involvement from the Jewish community, the hospital staff, actually in the United States, a lot of the hospital staff are not even born in the US. A lot of them are from outside of the States. But I have not seen it in the medical community, and I definitely know United Hatzalah, a lot of our volunteers, and sadly, on October 7th, a lot of our medics and volunteers that died saving lives were Muslim doctors that were part of our system.
Everybody, hold on.
Listen, I'm going to say one thing, then I'm going to jump off. As an American, we all have to realize what's going on right now. And as everyone's talking about this being an Israel thing or a Jewish thing, we are dealing with a regime since 1979 that has threatened death to America, that has focused their entire regime on wiping out Western civilization and America. And we as Americans cannot lose sight of that, because we are the great Satan to them. And I pray for peace, and I pray that they never have nuclear weapons so they can come and attack us. And I just want to end with
Hold on. Yes, you may, Rainbow.
I pray our government takes care of this, takes care of it right away. Thank you.
Thank you, Abby. Rainbow, go ahead.
Thank you. I just been listening, and I just noticed like the conversation is very individualized based, and I just wanted to know that, like, as far as just information added to the conversation, like especially like about the things that Nicole was saying and the Like, are we gonna reference like the most Jews, even the secular ones, go by like the rabbinic traditions and Talmudic traditions? So would that have anything to do with like the racism in their community, just based on their traditions and in their books? Have like racist traditions.
Rabbi, you want to answer that?
Everybody that holds ancient scripture and has been around a long time has some racist stuff in their past. Are some people going to be racist because of that? Yeah. Does that mean the entirety of the tradition is somehow like, illegitimate because those traditions exist? No. I think what you want to look at is how are those traditions used today? Like in Jewish schools, in synagogues, are rabbis and teachers preaching? Are they preaching the curse of Ham, for example, right? Which isn't really whatever, just as an example. No, they're not, by and large, right? We're not talking about that stuff. So, is it possible people are relying on the traditions in certain parts of the tradition to sort of justify their racism? Absolutely. But I wouldn't say that means that the tradition overall is racist, or that that's even a mainstream, strategy.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Like for example, like when the guy asks like, why aren't the average people just like invited to the synagogue and things like that? But wouldn't the answer be mostly like in the traditions or in the book it says like you're not allowed to allow others to even like examine your material and
let me answer you quickly. And I want to put something to bed on this. It's really important that you hear this. We had 850 bomb scares last year at our synagogues. If we're not real inviting when a stranger comes to the door, and our armed guards that are in front trying to protect us are not super inviting to a stranger, and we ask them who they are and for ID, you might understand what we're in the middle of and what we're going through. We are in a very bad time right now with security. Again, last year alone, 850 bomb scares in the United States at synagogues. You think there is a reason we have a guard at every synagogue, every Jewish day school, every Jewish community center. We just can't let a person walk in without knowing who they are. We have a training that we do, the power of hello. We talk to everyone that's at our door. We find out who they are. We have had threats. We have had Molotov cocktails. We have had fires set. I mean, I can go on and on. So I hope you understand why we might ask someone who they are before they come in.